Yes, Gig Pata with LOM Online. Rachel, hey, congratulations for a second season of The Wilds.
Second seasons are the best.
You know what? Your character, Gretchen, is like one of the best villains I mean, totally top 100.
Really?
She
That's
is, she
such
is,
a compliment.
she is such a puppet master. I just can't believe it. But could you tell us, getting into the mindset of Gretchen, and do you feel bad about playing a character that kind of tortures these young girls and now young men for the second season?
It's a really good question. I like to find the meaning in things, you know. So for me, what was meaningful about playing such a deranged bitch is that I think it's really positive for, you know, young people, young adults who are watching the show to see a really uh, to see an adult whose certainty is so unbending, her moral compass is so off. Because I think actually we're living in a world with many people like that. They're so sure and they're so wrong, and their moral compass is so off. And whatever they're selling, whatever, you know, blood testing box, or if they're, you know, selling a new ideology, they're not actually seeing or taking responsibility for the collateral damage of their ideologies or their bad blood testing box, if you know what I mean. So I think to unpick that and inhabit that in a show that's, you know, very young adult focused, and particularly women, to play a suspect adult, if you like, I think is kind of cool, because I think young people need to really see through some of the, you know, the charlatans in the world who are, you know, inflicting all sorts of terrible damage on the planet and on each other, you know, while being so sure and smart. You know.
Absolutely. Now, the first season, this show came off very female centric, and because a lot of female characters and female stars like yourself, this season they're going to add, boys into the mix. Tell us how the dynamic changes for this, especially with Gretchen.
It was such a brilliant reveal, because I, to be honest, did not see it coming. And when Amy told me, you know, I was like, what's going to happen? You know, what would happen in season 2, Amy? And she's like, there's a boy island. And I was like, well, of course there is, because you can't have an experiment without a control, right? So it was so genius. I didn't know if, if Sarah and Amy were going to be able to write as kind of richly for the boys, because the quality of writing for these young female actors was so outstanding. And I'm really proud of how that writers' room kind of pivoted and honored the kind of diversity of experiences across race, across class, across gender identification or sexuality, and they honored it, you know, as much as the women. And I think that's what's going to make this season really exciting, and hopefully we get a third season where they all come together.
Well, Rachel, hey, thank you very much for speaking to us, and I'm hoping Gretchen will be walking on the beach someday.
I hope so too. Thanks, Gig.
Thank you. Appreciate it.